Hey, it's o2manyfish. It's the end of September 2024. I know it's been a long time since we did an update on the tank. And a lot of people email me and say, hey, no updates on the tank, do something. So here's a very brief update. This is the tank. I've had a lot of stuff going on the last many months. Had some health issues, had some projects on the house that took priority, and the tank since the start of the year just has not been an enjoyable thing because the acros just were not doing well. Fish are doing fine, LPS and softies pretty darn good, but SPS are just constantly losing one a week. We think we found the culprit. We think it was that tiny little, cute little yellow clown goby that we've had for years and years and years. We think he was going from colony to colony one at a time and shredding the tissue off. So we have ousted him. We also got a little flame angel who went in there and got his ass kicked by the dominant large female flameback angel. So pretty quickly we managed to catch that and toss her out. And the flame angel didn't make it, but we did manage to get the little baby joculator back into the tank, and it's doing really well. Maybe we'll zoom in on in a minute. What else is going on? Oh, we have a mantis shrimp. We've seen it twice. It's blue black, like midnight black, dark blue. We had it came home from sushi one night, and he was sitting out in the front after we'd been trying to catch him for like a week with no success. And after 2 years of having the tank, all of a sudden walk in, and there he is sitting up against the front glass. And I ran over and grabbed a stool and grabbed a net and reached in and swooped it up. And as I'm lifting him out of the tank, my wife goes, "Where are you going to put him?" He goes flying out of the net back into the tank and has been silent for about 3 weeks. And then this afternoon, I was cleaning up some stuff in the back of the tank, and he just went nuts on like an hour click fest. So the outside tanks are doing pretty good. They're growing corals like crazy. They did well with the heat of the summer. No major heat issues or anything like that. But the tank just has been, we really didn't do anything much for it until about probably, I don't know, a couple months ago. Like in July, I started getting motivated about it again a little bit. I picked up the pair of joculators and another pair of wild juvenile cold flakes. And so that got me into trying to, do some stuff with the tank to get back into it. There goes the little joculator across the bottom there now. Cute little one. That fish arrived and it was paper thin. I thought for sure we were going to lose it. It came from a importer in Florida. And so we sent pictures and they said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll credit it." And so we separated it out. We threw it in one of the frag tanks, and it's done awesome. And then we put it in here after it fattened up, and the flameback just kicked its ass. So we rescued it again and threw it back out in the frag tank, and it recuperated really well. And then once we got the flameback out, in he went, and so far he's doing really well. We have a slightly larger one out in the other frag tank, and in another week or two, we'll probably try adding him in here. We've got little bits of corals that have survived from a long time ago and are making like growth comebacks. So this was like basically a nubbin of a acro that we lost a long time ago, and it's growing back in. You look at something like this colony on the bottom here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Right behind the yellow tank, you'll see the colony is dead, and there are two new chunks. Very hard to see there. I'm trying to be steady. Fish keeps swimming in front of it. There's two new come on, guys. There's two new colonies growing off of the dead skeleton. I got the same thing up here. One little tiny tip of coral is growing back into a colony there, and a couple others. So, there's, we've got this about, 4 months ago, and it's growing really well. Gorgonians. First of all, our acropora gallery is doing awesome. These guys are happy as can be. We have the orange tongue coral, which is doing really well. Well, yet the green ones, hard to tell from the photo, but they're very pale. They have almost green color. But our gorgs are super happy. We just recently added a couple more. This is one of our Gorgonians. I'm going to zoom into the back wall. There's another one of our Gorgonians. They're nice and big. They're doing great. The bubble corals are real happy. I'm going to try to walk over here slowly so I don't give you guys a headache. This is really cool. So this bubble coral here, this is a piece that just got obliterated, and it was down to just a little bit of tissue deep inside the skeleton. And it's about half size right now, and it's pretty good size. And I believe, if we look way back here, there's another piece of it starting to grow back from what was basically almost nothing. Here's another one of our dead colonies that is coming back to life. You can see how it's growing around the dead skeleton base. Oh, here's another great example up here. I got the wrong one. There it is. You can see the tips, the tips that were left of the colony growing into new corals. No, those aren't frags mounted on tips. Those are tips that are becoming frags. So we've got that going on. We still have a horrible issue with planaria. The same issue that wiped out the fish in our tank 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. So you can see the planaria are all over the mushrooms. They are also, strangely now, they are all over the grafted cap. I haven't seen them on too many other hard corals, but they like the grafted cap. They're on there really good. If you look through the tank, you will see that we have all the things that are supposed to eat planaria. So kind of hard to see because the blues are dimming down right now, but there is a 6 line in here. There's Springer eye damsels. There is a pair of arrow crabs. There is Melanaris wrasses. There are, what other wrasses do we have in here? We have 4 different wrasses in here. Yellow chorus wrasses. A whole, like 3 different kinds of leopard wrasses. Nobody's eating them at all. Nobody even thinks about it. I go in there with a turkey baster. They don't come off. The only thing I found that is working with them is to, if I can take out like the mushrooms, I rinse them in fresh water and they come off. And then the mushrooms are unhappy for a couple days and then they come back. This is a new Gorg we got a couple weeks ago. The wife actually helped me pick them out. It's kind of funny. Because of, just not feeling well, we got these Gorgs and they got dropped into the bottom of the tank and they've done nothing for like a couple weeks. And then this afternoon I grabbed a couple of them and threw them in the bin to get ready to mount them, and then had to take care of the wife's clown system for a little bit. And so they're just sitting in the bin and they all polyped back up. So it's not polyped up right now, but this is a cool red one. This one is orange with red polyps. It looks like a couple polyps out there. This is another red one here. Don't ask me the names of these. This is a Gorgonian that we grew from a little tiny piece from Steve Garrett from like almost maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's a big colony, but when I was trying to catch the little yellow clown goby, I knocked it off the rock and then it's been on the bottom for a couple weeks. I messed up my shoulder, don't know how, really bad, but rotator cuff, ligaments, torn bicep, slap tear, the whole 9 yards. So I can't really use my right arm, which means going in and picking up stuff like that off the bottom of the tank and remounting it is really a bitch. Our ode to Jake Adams, our Acropora mountain, is doing really well. And that's after we beat the crap out of this area where the little yellow clown goby was hiding. So that's probably 70% of what was there a couple weeks ago before we tried to catch the little son of a bitch. But we did. This is a colony that's survived and done great. And then I think this is probably the only thing with it had an issue from the heat wave a couple weeks ago when it got up to like 100 plus 117 outside. The system got up to like 83.8. This seems to be the only coral that had an issue with it. And this thing has survived a really long time and grown, but you can see just everything that looks purple there is really gone. I'm pretty sure it's gone. It looks white. It's either bleached out to all the bits of Betsy or it's dead. And the rest of it seems to be okay. And I've looked inside. There's nothing problematic in there. This Ghani way back here, it's just a green Ghani. He's getting the crap beat out of him, but he's growing and he's happy as can be. Who else do we have? This piece got tumbled all over the tank for a long time, and then it got dropped onto the rock probably about a month ago. And as you can see, it's just like encrusted in. It's like, this is where I want to live. I'm happy here. And so it's doing its thing. Let's see. Come through here. I mean, there's a lot of coral in here. There's a lot of, it's not like we only have 4 or 5 acros in here. I mean, there's definitely acropora, but it's just, they're not huge for what we've been doing here and growing out. And just, they haven't flourished. This one pieces here is finally taken off. It's got all these tips on the top. The lights are getting dimmer and dimmer as I talk, so we're probably about done. Here's a shot down the back of the tank. Yeah, I don't think you can see much right now, so I apologize for that. So not much there. We'll go back, we'll do a full tank shot, and then we'll say goodnight. Okay, so we'll hopefully get to you some more interesting stuff. I'll be in a better mood. We're wrapping up the projects on the house. I'll have more time to dedicate to the tank. We'll get the frag tanks cleaned up so they're not embarrassing and take some pictures of that. And try to be more regular about these things. Hopefully, with getting a little yellow clown gobia, we'll continue our hunt for the mantis shrimp. We've got things turned around, and the acros will start taking root and growing like crazy. All right, have a great fall. Bye.